Joining us today from Great Britain is AUC expert Dave Merchant. Dave's background is in computer graphics and 3D for print and broadcast, and rendering PDF on mobile devices. Dave's actively involved in the AUC community, both in the forums and in the development of cutting-edge video tutorials for both 3D and geospatial mapping. You can find out more about Dave next month because he's going to be our featured expert on the site. Welcome and thanks for joining us today, Dave.
Thank you, Laurie, and hello to those of you who've joined us. As I said, my name's Dave Merchant, speaking to you from slightly damp and miserable UK, but nevertheless, we'll try and make it interesting. The Tech Talk today, I'm aiming to introduce what is possible with the ability of Acrobat now to include Flash content and also Acrobat's ability to process JavaScript. Now, there's been a lot said in recent months about Acrobat JavaScript, mostly negative things about how terrible it might be and how it all has to be disabled. But ultimately, JavaScript can do a great deal of powerful things within Acrobat and Reader, and some of the things that we're going to show you today might even prompt you to re-enable it, possibly, for the occasional document. I will wander through things at a relatively speedy pace, but I'm allowing for the fact that most of you have not spent your entire lives hacking away inside JavaScript or ActionScript, so we're going to take things at a reasonable pace, and as I said, we have a pod with sample files available to download. It includes some of the files, some of the Flash applications, some of the 3D models that we'll be using today. So you can download the file, you can play with them at your own leisure, build on them, do what you want, build your own applications. I really don't care. They're there for you to play with. The plan today is to cover, first of all, a little bit of an introduction to what Acrobat JavaScript does. Some of you will have encountered it before, some of you will be wondering what on earth it is. I'll try in a couple of minutes just elaborate on what it is and what it's for. I will explain how we can use JavaScript to talk to annotations which contain video, audio, or Flash content, and how we can get Flash content to talk back to PDF. So we can, for example, have a button on a PDF form which causes Flash to do something, like display a graph or download a video, or we could have a Flash file that automatically fills in content on your PDF page. Both of that is easily doable, but it's a combination of a bit of ActionScript inside the Flash file and a bit of JavaScript inside the PDF just to pass the information backwards and forwards. Some of the multimedia controls don't need you to start writing your own Flash content, and Acrobat 9's multimedia player, the embedded player that gets plonked onto your page when you say on Acrobat 9 Pro or Pro Extended, insert a video or insert a sound, that has inbuilt control functions declared in it. So you can use those with JavaScript without having to start delving into the source code of Flash. And I'll show you an example of one thing which we can do if we combine all these features together, which is play live YouTube videos inside a PDF file without downloading the video, without breaking any rules, and hopefully by increasing the size of the PDF with 20, 21 kilobytes of data, we still end up with something which is emailable and passable around between your friends. If that doesn't keep you interested for the next 20 minutes, nothing will. And if you can survive all of that, then I'll do a little bit on what we can do with 3D annotations in Pro Extended, where we can do the same kind of thing. We can use JavaScript to control the 3D annotation, and we can even put Flash inside a 3D annotation, something which I've covered on an earlier tutorial, which is available on the website. But it is possible. It's probably about as cutting edge as anyone would really want to go, but it is possible. What I'm not going to cover, because it's already covered elsewhere, are doing things with Flash that don't involve annotations on the page, so things like custom navigators for PDF portfolios. Those are adequately covered already by Joel and others on the website. I'm not going to cover normal scripting actions, things like filling in forms, checking values, ticking tick boxes, etc. Again, that is all covered on the Learning Center. Folder level and batch level scripts that live outside of a PDF and are usually used for things like setting up menus. That's a different topic. Again, we're not covering that. And we're not talking about commenting, mainly because I haven't got time, but also because they're all covered on the Learning Center. If you visit acrobatusers.com, pull down the Learning Center menu, pick anything off the list and search for JavaScript or commenting or portfolios, you'll find adequate things to keep you happy for at least 20 minutes.